Do you ever feel like your emotions are throwing a wild party? And you're just this confused guest trying to find the bathroom? Or like you're feeling all of this stuff. It's all whirling around everywhere, but you can't actually figure out what's going on. If only our emotions and life could have subtitles. Well, you're not alone. In today's video, we're diving into the art of listening to your emotions and your needs. Because trust me, they've got some important things to say. So grab your emotional earbuds and let's tune in to the chatter that could change your life. No, seriously, it really could. Hi everybody, I'm Sam and I'm an online counsellor for introverts, INFJs and empaths. And on this YouTube channel, we talk all things INFJs, introverts, therapy reactions, all of those good things. So if that sounds like the sort of thing that you would like to watch on a weekly basis, then please subscribe to my channel, grab a cuppa, and let's get into this video. Today, we're sharing what emotions actually are and how we can learn to identify them and also how to label them. We're also going to talk about how to learn what your needs are and how you can respond to them accordingly. Let's begin with what are emotions? Emotions are essentially our feelings. We can feel it mentally, and some people don't realize this, but you can feel your emotions physically. Those feelings can be things like happiness, sadness, joy, anger, grief, resentment, jealousy, love, confidence, fear. The problem is, for many people, we aren't paying attention to what our emotions are doing and how we're feeling it in our body. We're not always aware of what our emotions are doing at any given time. And when this happens, we can end up squashing those emotions down in our body, which can then cause physical pain, sickness, illness, tummy problems, you name it. It could be caused by an emotion. Many of us aren't taught what different feelings actually feel like. And that's why, as a mum myself, I find it really important that part of my role to my children is to teach them what they're feeling. And when something happens to them, whether it's at school or at home, we'll actually talk about the situation and describe what they're feeling in their body and talk about all the different emotions that they could be feeling in that moment so that they can begin to build emotional intelligence. Some of us, when we were children, we were taught that these bad emotions, such as anger, weren't allowed, and we can feel shame for feeling anger. And then what can happen is, for people who have felt shamed for being angry, they bottle it up. And like I said, it can manifest in physical issues and problems, like backaches. When I'm going through physical pain, which I do quite a lot, I like to look up emotional causes that can cause that pain and then look at what emotions can be trapped in the body so that I can begin to work through that through journaling or other emotional processes. There's many ways that you can learn what our emotions are and how we're feeling them, such as in a therapy session with someone like myself, or just for today, I'll give you two ideas. You can look up the emotions wheel. I find this tool to be incredibly valuable for those who struggle to label and understand emotions. When you're going through something, you can pull this wheel out and you can look at, start from the center. Most people know what anger feels like, they know what happiness is, they know what sadness is, and then you can look at the outer parts of the wheel and begin to draw on some of these feeling names and see which ones resonate with you. And when you see a word and it resonates, you'll probably feel an inkling in your body about it. And then when you meditate on that emotion, it's a really good practice to sit there and to really feel where you're feeling it in your body, to come up and even to come up with a visual representation of what that looks like for you. Another idea that I'll give you today to help you build your emotional intelligence is to begin writing in your journal. And you can start with something simple such as moments of happiness. I like to call this the happiness project. And with this, throughout your day, basically I want you to have mindful moments and to begin to learn what happiness feels like in your body and begin to learn when you actually feel happiness. And that could be, say, when you're watching a sunset, and pay attention to what that sensation is like for you when you watch a sunset. Does that bring you happiness? And when you feel that happiness, what's happening for you? Do you feel lightness? Do you feel giddy? Do you feel like there's butterflies flying in your chest? Write down what it is that resonates with you. Okay, but how do we learn to understand our emotions and what they're trying to tell us and what their needs are? Firstly, it's important that you always come at it with a curious mind. Be curious about what you're feeling. Be curious about what comes up for you. Be curious about your triggers and what those triggers make you feel like, whether it's good or bad. It doesn't matter. All emotions are valid and all emotions are accepted. I've already mentioned journaling with the happiness project, but with journaling, you can also ask these different emotions, these different parts of you, why are you feeling this way? And begin writing down what comes to your mind about why you're feeling this way. Where are you feeling it? Paying attention to what was happening right before you felt that emotion. Is there a pattern? Is there a trigger? And while you're doing this exercise, one of the most important questions you can ask is, what message do you have for me? Because all of our emotions, they have messages, they have needs, they're trying to tell us something, they're trying to help us with something. And you can simply ask, what is your message? What are you trying to tell me? And then with your journal, just start free-flowing, writing whatever it is that comes to your mind. Don't second guess it, just write it down and you might be surprised with what comes up. Okay, but once we know all of this, what can we do? When we have all these emotions going all over the place, we know what we're feeling, we know what it's trying to tell us. How can we then calm ourselves down when we're worked up? How can we express these emotions in a healthy way so that we can actually deal with them? I've already mentioned the journaling, but other things that you can do which are super powerful and helpful are grounding exercises. I've got a few videos on that somewhere. Breathing exercises, you could look up some deep breathing work. Yoga and stretching. I find for me that stretching, it really helps release some of these emotions that are trapped in our body. Meditation, exercise, therapy with me or someone else, and just continuously building on your tool belt. When I talk about your tool belt, I mean having all these different tools I just talked about and other tools that work for you, so that depending on what you're going through and what emotion is coming up, you have a tool for that situation. For example, a grounding exercise is probably not going to work when you're already feeling quite low, depressed and sad. What might work in that situation would be exercise and elevating yourself and allowing yourself to feel all those good endorphin feelings. But a grounding exercise would be great when you're feeling panicked and anxious and you need to lower yourself and bring yourself back down to reality. There's so many different tools that you can use. Please subscribe to my channel because I plan to talk more about these tools so that I can continue to serve you and be of benefit for you.